Good afternoon. We'd like to welcome everyone to our Committee of the Whole, Tuesday, April the 14th. If you're able, please stand for the invocation, followed by the pledge. April is Child Abuse Awareness Month, and I would like to share a few scriptures that remind us how precious our children are and how blessed we are to be able to support the children of Colleton County. In Psalms, we read that children are a heritage from the Lord. They are generational glory in Proverbs. They're wonderfully made by God in Psalms, and we know that heaven and the angels watch over them from Matthew. Also in Matthew, we're encouraged to have faith as a child. Truly, I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. And finally, Ephesians reminds us to discipline with love. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger by the way you treat them. Rather, bring them up with the discipline and instruction that comes from the Lord. Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. We'd like to welcome all of our families, staff, guests, all of those joining us via our live video. Tonight, we're honored to have students from the Boys and Girls Club of Forest Hills Elementary. And at this time, we want to thank them for being our greeters, and we invite them up to read our mission statement.
Colleton County School District will prepare every student to graduate with the 21st century education to be globally competitive children and or career path.
They're just a little nervous.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate your sponsor and your principal being here supporting you. Can you tell us a little bit about the Boys and Girls Club at Forest Hills?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Kobe, and my favorite thing about the Boys and Girls Club is our power hour. When we come to the Boys and Girls Club, our staff helps us do our homework and helps us do what we don't know, so the next day we come, we will know what we did.
Hello, my name is Jamarion Ferguson, and I'm here from the Boys and Girls Club from Forest Hills. My favorite thing to do is mathematics and Boys and Girls Club because I don't know math that much in 5th grade. And that's it.
Okay, a couple more.
Good afternoon. My name is Kendall Jenkins, and my favorite thing is probably when we go in the classroom and the teachers help us do our homework, and after we're done with our homework, we can play games and stuff.
Don't be shy.
She's just a little shy. But with the Boys and Girls Club, we do a lot of with helping our kids, especially when they don't understand something. So when they're talking about power hour is when we do homework, where the kids sit at the table and the teachers assist them with any questions that they have. So once we finish our power hour, then the kids are allowed to, if they need to work on their already lessons, which they haven't done for today, they are able to do that. And they also get to play board games, and they also get to interact with each other and have that social interaction. We also teach them how to be accountable, especially for their actions. When you do something wrong and you make a poor choice, there are consequences. But we want them to learn how to be able to make better choices. So when they go out into the community and they're representing their school or the Boys and Girls Club, they will know how to conduct themselves. So we are really, trying to change the narrative of what people say about Colleton County, because there are great things here. We have great kids, we have great staff, this is a great community. So with having the Boys and Girls Club here, it really, just puts that spotlight here. And also, before I leave up here, Mr. Kobe, he was nominated as the Youth of the Year. He got the Service Award for the Boys and Girls Club for the Low Country. So that was a great
Wonderful.
for giving us this time to really showcase what the Boys and Girls Club is really doing for this community. And one more thing, when we went on our field trip a couple of weeks ago, we got a charter bus. And when the kids saw the bus, they was like, oh, we get to ride a city bus. And it just really just shines that light to let you know that a lot of our kids do not have those experiences. They don't get to go too many places. So for this club to be able to give them that experience, riding the charter bus if they've never been on one, and going to a bigger, and we went to Bluff. And a lot of kids saw Bluffton and it was like, oh my goodness, this is a city. Some of them have never been there. So, and they talked about that field trip. So this program is really great for this community. And I hope that we continue to showcase what we're doing and to make it even grow bigger for Colleton County. So thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Forest Hills, and thank you, greeters, and thank you for helping us remember our mission statement. That was a great opportunity for you to do public speaking. Board members, at this time, please join with me in our civility pledge. I pledge to build a stronger and more effective school board by advocating for civil engagement, respecting others and their viewpoints, and finding solutions for the betterment of my school district. Board members, as you can see, we have a full board except for our chairman, who is out of the country, and I'm excited to be able to lead the meeting tonight. And at this time, I will entertain a motion that we approve the agenda that was sent to you electronically and is before you.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the agenda for tonight.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion about the agenda that's set before us? Hearing none, all those in favor of the approval of this agenda, please show your right hand. Unanimous. Under Chairman's report, please be reminded, for those of you that are registered to represent our board, the day at the Capitol for our South Carolina School Board Association is coming up next Wednesday, and we appreciate those of you that are able to travel for that event. And our superintendent-elect will be there. And Ms. Williams, will you be able to go? I'm not sure if she'll be able to go to the Capitol, but we look forward to a report from those of you that are able to go. Are you able to go to the Capitol Wednesday?
No.
Okay. Thank you. So we look forward, board members and superintendent-elect, for a report back from the interactions you have with our legislators that make decisions about our budget. Board members, just a note, April the 1st, the chairman and I and superintendent-elect, as well as consultant Ms. Dr. Bagley, we were able to attend an educational finance boot camp that was set up by the State Department. And it was a wonderful day where we were able to be with our colleagues around the state and find out different scenarios about the budget. And of course, as many of us know, we're faced with a challenging time, especially in districts such as ours and others around us that, have a small budget locally. So it was great to look at different scenarios, and the speaker was from Georgetown University, and it was a very fruitful day. Rice Festival's coming up, board members, and Superintendent Williams and our staff have prepared some things that we know we want to be aware of for our staff and students. If you didn't receive this, I'll make sure we get an electronic copy to you, but I'd like to announce that Forest Hills Elementary Honors Course will be performing at 11:30 on Saturday at the Artisan Center, and on Wednesday next week at 6 o'clock, the Rice Cook-Off, that would be our TCTC culinary students, and the tickets are sold by the Rice Festival Committee. So that's a great event that we can sponsor our students. Also, on Friday, April 24th, beginning at 10, the Federal Programs Department will have a booth, and that will also continue on Saturday if you're able to stop by. And our NJ ROTC and our band will be participating in the parade, and maybe some of our elementary schools show up also sometimes for that. And there'll be a opportunity for board members to participate as well. So let Ms. Hyman know if you'll be able to participate in the parade, and she will give you all of the details. Anything else, Superintendent Williams, that might have come in late?
I think that is it for now, but I will place this information in my weekly board brief on Friday, and if we have any updates, I will include that as well.
Thank you. We look forward to supporting our students and staff at these events.
Vice Chairman Strobel, I may have missed it, but just want to make note that Friday, April the 25th, is a half-day of instruction, early dismissal.
Yes, thank you. Our calendar, we've already voted, and thanks for reminding us, to reflect the half-day for the Rice Festival on Friday. Thank you. Coming up next Friday. All right, moving along to Section 3, recognition. We're so excited about some of you that are going to receive recognition tonight, because every member of Team Colleton works for kids and makes important contributions towards our school district becoming a world-class school system. So Superintendent Williams, we look forward to recognition tonight.
Thank you, Vice Chair Strobel, and I'd like to say good evening to all of our board members. I'd like to say good evening to all of our district staff, school staff, everyone that's here, community members. Thank you all so much for being here with us this evening. And as I always say, this is the most I love this part of our agenda. And also we have our superintendent-elect, Superintendent Aldrich, here with us tonight too. So just want to thank everyone for being here, being in attendance. And we're going to start with our above and beyond staff. We have multiple recognitions tonight that's so deserving of all of you who are here tonight. So we're going to start with Bells Elementary School. And I don't know if Principal Ferguson, is she here? She's not here tonight, but we are recognizing Miss Andrea Brown, her professional school counselor. So Miss Andrea, if you would come forward, please, and let's give her a hand as she comes. So, Ms. Brown, I'm going to read what Principal Ferguson submitted on your behalf. And it says, Mrs. Brown goes above and beyond for the students and staff at Bells Elementary School. Mrs. Brown makes herself available to help when she is needed. She voluntarily goes into classrooms to support students without being asked. She is aware of the needs of our students and goes the extra mile to support them. She is well respected by our staff. Mrs. Brown displays a positive attitude throughout the building. She is always smiling and chooses to provide a safe and supportive environment for our staff and students. So let's give Ms. Brown another round of applause. All right. Next, we would like to recognize from Blackstreet Early Childhood Center, Miss Tracy Colleton Glover. She's coming on down. And Miss Glover serves in dual roles at Blackstreet Early Childhood Center. Congratulations. She serves as the assistant principal and the reading interventionist. So we thank you for the work that you do at Blackstreet. And I know Principal Pearson is here. Principal Pearson, she was here? Oh, there she is, if you would wave your hand. So I'm going to read what Principal Pearson submitted on your behalf, Ms. Glover. Ms. Glover is one of the best teammates you'll find. She is always there for others, and she may think her many small acts of kindness go unnoticed, but we want her to know that her entire Blackstreet Early Childhood Center team sees all of the wonderful things she does. Just to name a few, she serves as a part-time assistant principal, a part-time reading interventionist, and a full-time team player. You can find her here early to make sure the building is open and ready for our owls, and that our early arrival staff are greeted with warm hugs and a big smile. You can find her late debriefing with Mrs. Pearson and sharing laughter over the successes of the day. You can find her in the parking lot offering rides to coworkers who need a little extra help. You can find her helping out in our exceptional learning classrooms or at her desk poring over the data to figure out how we can best serve our little people. Regardless of her location, in or outside of the building, you will always find her doing what's best for children and making the world a better place. We are so very grateful for all that Mrs. Glover brings to Blackstreet Early Childhood Center. So let's give Ms. Glover another round of applause. We're going to move on to Cottageville Elementary School, and I see Principal Allen in the back, if you would wave your hand. Principal Allen. So we are recognizing Miss Amber Brown, kindergarten teacher assistant. Let's give her a round of applause. Yes, ma'am. So, Miss Amber, this is what Principal Allen submitted on your behalf. Amber Brown consistently goes above and beyond in her commitment to our school community. She plays an instrumental role in planning events and pep rallies, always bringing creativity, energy, and innovation to every project. What truly sets Amber apart is her ability to take an idea and transform it into something meaningful and impactful. She brings vision to life with excellence. Amber is also a positive force among staff, encouraging and uplifting those around her. She embodies what it means to be a true team player, always willing to collaborate, support, and step in wherever needed. Her dedication, creativity, and leadership make a lasting difference, and we truly are grateful for the impact she makes each and every day. Let's give Miss Brown another round of applause. Next, we have from Forest Hills Elementary School, we're going to recognize tonight Miss Brittany Scheider, professional school counselor. Come forward, give her a hand. And we're going to ask, I know Principal Guarino was here. Is he still here? He left? Okay, well, he was here to support you, Ms. Scheider, but I'm going to read what he submitted on your behalf, and it states, okay. We are proud to recognize professional school counselor Brittany Scheider for going truly above and beyond in service to our Cougar Cub community. Ms. Scheider consistently demonstrates unwavering dedication to both students and staff through her impactful work in social emotional learning. Whether she is supporting individual students, collaborating with teachers, or helping create a positive school climate, her commitment to the well-being of our school community shines each and every day. She played a key role in coordinating a meaningful and engaging Black History Month luncheon and celebration, bringing our community together to honor, reflect, and learn. Her leadership and attention to detail made this event both memorable and impactful for all involved. In addition, Ms. Scheider keeps our school connected and informed informed through her daily morning announcements. Behind the scenes, she also works diligently to maintain our school website and Facebook page, ensuring families and the community stay updated and engaged. Ms. Scheider's passion, positivity, and tireless efforts make a lasting difference at Forest Hills Elementary School. We are incredibly grateful for all that she does to uplift and support our Cougar Cubs. Let's give Ms. Scheider another round of applause. And from Hendersonville Elementary School, we are recognizing another professional school counselor, Miss Elizabeth Varn. If you would come up. So, Principal Edwards, if you would wave your hand, I think she's in the back there. This is what Principal Edwards submitted, Ms. Varn, on your behalf. Elizabeth Varn is an awesome school counselor who consistently goes above and beyond for our students each and every day. Her welcoming demeanor makes students feel safe and profoundly supported. Her commitment ensures that all students have the resources and encouragement they need to thrive both academically and personally, making an invaluable contribution to our school community. She offers her support wherever it's needed at Hendersonville, and we are grateful to name Miss Elizabeth Varn our above and beyond staff member for Hendersonville Elementary School. Let's give her a round of applause. Okay, next, from Colleton County High School, we have, and we are recognizing Miss Heather Mushrush. Heather Mushrush, come forward. And I do see Miss Bodison here. Miss Bodison, if you would wave your hands. And I'm going to read, Miss Mushrush, what Principal Bodison submitted on your behalf. Ms. Mushrush is an integral part of the Colleton County High School family, and her dedication to our school is second to none. She wears multiple hats: Social Studies Department Chair, Government and Econ and Teacher Cadet Teacher, National Honor Society Sponsor, and Prom Coordinator. Each of these roles requires time, energy, and attention to detail. Academically, Ms. Mushrush excels at preparing our upperclassmen for life beyond CCHS, teaching essential skills for young adults to become contributing members of society. Through Teacher Cadet, she is sharing her passion for education and fostering the growth of future teachers. As the National Honor Society sponsor, she assists students with service projects throughout the community, promoting high academic achievement and modeling professional commitment. As prom coordinator, she takes on the responsibility to provide our students with one of the most anticipated high school events, the Pinnacle Social Event, which is second only to graduation. While this is just a short description of her great contributions, it is clear to anyone who knows her that Ms. Mushrush's impact spreads far beyond her classroom walls and even those of our school. Colleton County High School, Colleton County School District, and Colleton County at large are all better because of her, and we are so grateful she is a part of our Colleton County High School staff. Let's give Ms. Mushrush another round of applause. And last but not least, for our above and beyond, we are recognizing from TCTC, Mr. Michael Swearingen. Mr. Michael Swearingen. He's not here tonight. I know Director Kubik is here. So we will recognize him at a later time. So I want to say to all of our above and beyond staff, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I know thank you is really not enough, because I know that there's so much that goes on behind the scenes beyond your title that you do for the success of your school. So we just want to thank you for being there and going above and beyond and doing what it takes to make your school successful. So we're going to take a quick picture, and then we want you to go and shake our board members' hands.
Thank you. Thank you. Years of service.
I know you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Wow. You get a little bonus.
Congratulations. I can remember, but I couldn't.
All right. All right, if you would please, let's give our above and beyond one more round of applause. All right, we have some additional recognitions that we would like to do tonight. And first of all, I want to say that our National School Counseling and Global Career Facilitators Week was celebrated in February. However, we sent notification, but some of our counselors did not get the notification, and I did not want this year to go by without you all coming up and being recognized. I know Ms. Simon sent you your certificates, so some of you already have them, but I just want you all to come up and be recognized. And I'm going to call each of your names, but I want you to know what a school counselor does. School counselors' work reaches far beyond schedules and graduation plans. Each day, they serve as advocates, mentors, listeners, and champions for our students, supporting their academic growth, social, emotional well-being, and career readiness. Their guidance helps students navigate challenges, discover their strengths, and envision bright futures, while also strengthening families, schools, and our entire community. So I want to say again, thank you to our school counselors. Thank you to our global career counselors in Colleton County. Your commitment to access and opportunity ensures that every student is supported and empowered to succeed. So at this time, I'm going to call your name and the school you represent, and we'd just like for you to come and come up front. And I think there's one that does not have her certificate, and you will get your certificate tonight. Okay, but we would like Miss Andrea Brown from Bells Elementary, if you would come back. Recognize. Also, Mr. Harold Brown from Blackstreet Early Childhood Center. Ms. Katura Williams from Cottageville Elementary. Ms. Brittany Scheider, again from Forest Hills Elementary. Ms. Elizabeth Varn, again from Hendersonville Elementary. Ms. Elaine Anabinet from Northside Elementary. From Colleton County Middle School, we have Anna Stevens. Anna Stevens, she's not here. Mr. James Pettigo. And Ms. Charlene Williams. From Colleton County High School, Ms. Mentally Stevens. Ms. Pamela Kynard. Mr. Dominique Cahey. Miss Kathy Scheider. Miss Jasmine Williams, and I think she was here the last time, and she was recognized. Mr. Romeo Edwards. And Miss Elena Lane. And okay, and also from Colleton County High School, Miss Christine Brown. And now we're going to go to Colleton Academy for Success. From Colleton Academy for Success, we have Miss Jamie Stevens. And Miss Jamie, we do have your certificate tonight. And then from TCTC, we have Mr. Sean Johnson. And also Miss Denise Wright Johnson. So I want to say again to all of our counselors and career facilitators, thank you for the job that you do. I know you sponsored, I know at the high school there was a career day. It was excellent. Last week, before spring break, I think it was that Thursday before spring break, and it was an excellent event. And thank you to all of you, because I know even at the elementary level, you're starting to do career fairs to introduce our kids to different career options that they have. So thank you for all that you do. We're going to take a quick picture, and then we want you to shake our board members' hands.
Thank you, Ms. Scheider. Love you, y'all. Thank you. Thank you again. Again. Congratulations. Thank you. Again, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, sir.
I'm good. How you doing? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Hey, cuz, you doing all right, sir? I'm good to see you. Thank you.
Okay. All right, we have a few more recognitions, so if you can please stay for just a few more minutes, because we want to recognize a few more people who are just really doing a great job in our district, and we really appreciate you. So we're going to now move to recognizing our Gear Up staff. And for those of you who may not know, Gear Up is a program that we have a partnership with Voorhees University, and it is a grant program in South Carolina designed to prepare middle and high school students for post-secondary education and careers. It provides academic tutoring, mentoring, and college readiness activities to increase graduation and enrollment. Colleton County School District began their partnership with Voorhees University Gear Up program, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Sonia, wasn't it 2022? 2022. And the program is amazing. These are the benefits that our children receive. They get targeted support. The program, it serves children in cohorts from middle school through high school, focusing on areas with high concentrations of their academics. And then they offer extended day tutoring. They offer homework assistance. They offer summer programs. They offer college and career prep. They offer just engaging our students and helping them learn more about the world around them so that they could be well-rounded students. And tonight, we would like to recognize those staff members who work so diligently with our Gear Up program. And we're going to start with our director of the program, Ms. Sonia Stevens. If you would come up, please. Also, assisting Ms. Sonia is Minister Wayne Bennett. If you would come up, please. Okay. So she says they're equal in their roles. So Ms. Sonia and Minister Bennett serve as directors of the Gear Up program. So we want to thank you all for what you do. Thank you so much. And also, I don't know if Ms. Tiffany Leaf, is she here? From Voorhees University, and Denisha Vickers. Okay. All right. Well, we want to thank them, but we also want to recognize our principal, Ms. Eureka Bodison, for embodying this program as well. And I know that those kids came over from the middle school. And Mr. Peoples, if you would raise your hand as well. And I'm gonna, do you have something that you would like to say about the program?
I think Dr. Williams pretty much said it all, but we're just honored to be able to work with our children here in Colleton County. This is my first year with Gear Up. Ms. Stevens has been here for 5 years, and the class of 2027 will be the first class that will graduate with Gear Up assistance. So we're excited. We will continue. Thank you. We will continue our college tours and career exploration that we take the students on, because there's nothing like having real world experience. I mean, we can tell them about college, but once they walk on those campuses and see what college life is like, that really motivates them, and we're going to continue to do that. We thank Dr. Williams, Dr. Jenkins, our principal, Ms. Bodison. We thank everyone for assisting with us, and also Voorhees University. Thank you. Thank you. And before we leave, this is just a token of our appreciation, some of the things that we give to students.
Thank you.
We wanted the board members to have some also. Thank you. Ms. Bodison. Thank you, Ms.
All right, we want to thank you all so very much. And hold on just a minute, let me get back to my...
Ms. Williams, I think they're waiting a picture.
All right, we have one other recognition, but they could, oh. We have one additional recognition, and I know this person does not work directly with Gear Up, but I know she has assisted with Gear Up in the past. But we have a special recognition that we would like to recognize tonight. Our district's transition specialist, Ms. Gail Kidd, if you would come forward, please. So, Ms. Kidd, as you're coming forward, and like I said, I know she doesn't officially work with Gear Up, but trust me, she has been in the trenches with Gear Up, helping wherever she can. And I want to say to you, congratulations for your incredible work. But I want to tell you what Miss Kidd does. She does far more than guide students academically. She nurtures them socially and emotionally. She supports kids as they navigate their journey back to school after being placed in alternative settings. So she works with those kids as they return back to school just to make sure that they are successful. Because sometimes, you know, they may go back, they may trip up, but she'll help pick them up and tell them, hey, look, you can do this. She helps them academically, socially, emotionally, and just helps them get back into school to be productive citizens. But because of your dedication, students are not only finding their way back into the classroom, but they are also staying on track to graduate and succeed beyond high school. Your work changes lives, restores hope, and strengthens our entire school community. So we want to thank you, Ms. Kidd, for the lasting difference that you are making in our students' lives. And we want you to stay right there. We're going to take another picture, and then we're going to let you shake our board members' hands. Okay?
You're looking young, Miss Kidd. They fooled you, didn't they?
Congratulations. Thank you.
You have an age of 6. So proud of you for your new meet.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes.
Thank you.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Don't leave. We still have,
Thank you.
we still
What a
have
blessing.
a few more.
Thank you.
If you all would, please don't leave. We still have a few more recognitions. Just a few. Won't take long. All right, let's give our Gear Up program and our transition specialist another round of applause. All right, we have 3 more recognitions that we'd like to do. The first is our School Improvement Council. We would like for Mr. Eddie Peoples and Ms. Carolyn Anderson to come forward, please. Ms. Carolyn Anderson and Mr. Eddie Peoples. So, first I want to say congratulations. So, by South Carolina law, public schools must establish a school improvement council comprised of elected parents, teachers, and students. In grades 9 through 12, students are a part of that council. Plus, the principal appoints community members to serve on the council as well. And the main purpose of an SIC is to support student success. That's the main purpose. Well, Colleton County Middle School has been selected to receive the 2026 SIC Report to Parents Award of Merit for the state of South Carolina. So let's give them a round of applause. So I want to say congratulations to you because your report was a vivid, it was like a vivid story of what's happening at Colleton County Middle School. So I also want to, in addition to Mr. Peoples and Ms. Anderson's work, I also want to recognize Ms. Tangela Green. If you would come up, let's give her a round of applause. And Ms. Tangela actually, congratulations. There was a letter that we received on Ms. Green's behalf that came from the School Improvement Council of South Carolina. And basically, it was congratulating her on achieving district-wide compliance with SIC requirements for the 25-26 school year. 100% of schools in Colleton County met all reporting deadlines and statutory requirements. This milestone reflects Ms. Green's strong leadership and commitment to support schools with diverse needs, structures, and capabilities while ensuring School Improvement Council fulfilled its legislative responsibilities. So let's give Ms. Green a round of applause. And I see she has a fan base out there. But we've got a new name for you, Miss Green. It's 100%. Miss 100%. There you go. So we're going to take a quick picture, and we'd like for all three of you to shake our board members' hands.
Thank you, Ms. Green. Keep up the good work.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Thank you. Hard work.
Thank you for all you do. Thank you.
Okay. Let's give them another round of applause. All right. And Vice Chair Strobel, that completes our student and staff recognition for tonight.
Thank you, Superintendent Williams. That was definitely a good representation of all the hard work that goes into making our district great. Board members, any old business that needs to come before the board? Hearing none. Any new business? Hearing none, we'll move on to Section 6, policy items. We have 5 first reading policy items, and I'll turn it over to our policy committee chair with thanks to her committee and our administration and legal for bringing us these 5 policies.
Thank you, Ms. Strobel. I do want to recognize Ms. Allison Hanna, who is joining us via phone. Ms. Hanna, can you hear us?
Sometimes it's a delay. Allison, can you hear us? I'm not sure. She is. I'll get her back. I'll get her back. You go ahead.
All right. Thank you. I just want to identify that policy items typically determine the practice within the district. And the policy changes that we have before you, board members, are just the opposite. These are policies that we already have in practice, but we need to change the policy to reflect the practices that we are currently abiding by. Just so you know, policy FA and FB, as you take a look at those, have some identification specifically to SC code and law. And that law, section 592310, is a state law that requires that all of our facilities meet all the requirements within the state of South Carolina, and specifically are compliant to all student needs, including those as represented in Title IX. So that is policy FA and FB. Policy GBC is, again, a small change that you'll find at the bottom that identifies what we're already doing in practice, and that is what we identify in our contracts to our certified staff. That is in compliance with the Educator Assistance Act. And so we just wanted to make sure that our policy represents our practices and what we specify in our contracts to our certified staff. That is also identified in GCB. Again, the contracts represent the Educator Assistant Act laws that we already are in practice with. Our policy now complies with the practices we have in place. The last policy that was reviewed at our committee meeting on the 30th is policy JKE, expulsion of students, and also the administrative rule. This policy is still being reviewed by the administration, so board members, you'll receive an updated review of that policy before next week's meeting. And also, I'd like to ask to make sure that the website and board docs are updated with these policies. Ms. Hannah or Ms. Williams, or committee members, is there anything you would like to add about the first reading of these policies?
Hearing nothing, board members, these would be action items next week for first reading. So if you have a chance to review them or ask questions of the committee, next week would be the time that we can move them along with a vote for first reading.
Thank you. I just wanted to also mention that the policy committee also took a look at 2 other policies of topic that were presented and discussed, and that was the gifted and talented policy. There was an extensive amount of work that was done on this policy. It was determined to have some narrower guidelines to be determined, specific for our school district. Just want to thank all those that participated in the creation of that policy and also in the review of that. It will come back to the committee soon before the end of the school year. Is that correct, Ms. Williams?
That is correct.
And then also, it was requested that we look at our dress code policy. The committee did review that policy and realized that there was some minor details in our communication of dress code that need to be made more specific. And so we will do that before the start of the school year. It does not, however, require any policy change.
Okay, we'll look forward to receiving those policies so that we can hopefully get them passed for first reading. Item number 7, Ms. Witkin will review second reading that we'll take action on next week for policies from the policy committee.
That was all first reading policies. Food services, already, again, a policy that's in practice. And board members, we did vote for the first reading for policy GCC and GDC, professional and support staff leaves and absences, with an extension of 10 sick leave days for our retired retained staff. And then, of course, the new policy, KF, community use of school facilities, has been thoroughly reviewed by administration and legally vetted. And so, and that is being referenced by other school districts that have had successful policies that we've put into place. So, board members, you did pass that first reading for all of those policies.
Okay, so those 4 are in our packet that we received by email, and those would be second reading next week so that they would go in the book as effective for April 2026 if the board approves.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else from the policy committee?
Just again, request that all these policies be placed on board docs as well as our website, and then announcing that our next policy committee meeting is scheduled at the end of the month, Monday, and I wrote it down.
I think it was the last Monday at 5. Wasn't that correct?
Last Monday at 5. You got it.
Is that right, Ms. Hyman, the last Monday at 5 for the next policy committee?
Yes, it's the 27th. Thank you for
Thank
that
you.
date. Appreciate it.
Yes, we can note that on the agenda next week. Okay, anything else? Thank you, Policy Committee. I know that's hard work, our administration and our legal team. Moving along to Section 8, Superintendent Report. We know the effective leadership supports learning and optimal performance of all students, and Ms. Williams will be bringing forth information from her report, the district strategic plan update, the local board approved courses that we'll be voting on next week, our HR report, our financial report, and budget update. So Ms. Williams, we look forward to the 6 items under your report.
Okay, thank you, Vice Chair Strobel. Greetings again, board members. Tonight, my report, my superintendent report, will just consist of an update that I have on three items, and also Ms. Bodison will present Colleton County High School's continuous improvement plan update. However, before she comes forward, I just want to point out 3 announcements that I have. If you could go to the next slide. Yep, that's it. Yes. Oh, okay, thank you. So just wanted to First of all, acknowledge our federal programs department. Federal programs had an audit, and they received an all clear, no findings. They were not out of compliance. They were in compliance with everything on the State Department's monitoring review. So I want to place a shout out to Ms. Brandy Bozeman and her team for a wonderful job, for a job well done. Let's give Ms. Bozeman. Thank you all so very much for your hard work. And also, board members, this information was sent to you in the Friday, April 3rd's board brief, but the decision was made, as you remember, to cancel school on Monday, March 16th due to the possibility of inclement weather. And per state guidelines, we will need to make up that day. And I have received input from district and school leaders, and the proposed makeup day will be Tuesday, May 26th, which will now be the last day for students. It was the last day for teachers, but now that day will be the last day for students with your approval. May 27th will now be the teacher work day and last day for teachers. And I will ask you for a formal vote of approval for this recommendation at the April 21st board meeting.
Superintendent Williams, so we've clarified there's no forgiveness the local board can provide?
No, ma'am, because whenever a local board can provide forgiveness, but you have to have missed 3 days before that forgiveness can come from the board. And we did check with the State Department. We checked with Dr. Jenkins, had conversation with our with Ms. Monique Smalls, our transformational coach, and she clarified that we must make up that day. So that is state law, and we want to make sure that we're in compliance.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yes. And then,
if Ms. Williams,
yes.
just from a perspective as a board member, previous years in 2019, there was a legislative day that that a number of teachers were requested to go to the Capitol and in support of effort, and we received a number of HR requests for that day off. It was carefully considered, and the board made the decision to not have the instructional day that day. We were able to give forgiveness at the end of the school year. It does appear, since we have the ability to vote on our calendar each and every year, that we would have the ability to forgive that day, considering that we were not able to make a decision on the weather for that inclement weather day until almost 9 o'clock the night before. Mm-hmm. This day also fell after the inclement weather days built into our calendar.
That's
Therefore,
correct.
We were unable to use an inclement weather day in place of that. I just feel like there needs to be the ability of our state and local school board to be able to recognize the challenge that this is presenting our school district, and would be willing to speak on behalf of the school board or the district in any way to better rectify the instructional time, and that our half day, that Friday before Memorial Day, it's just not a good use of operational time to have everyone come back after Memorial Day. It doesn't sit well with me, and I don't look forward to having to make a decision on that next week.
Right, and I completely understand, and everything that you mentioned, we did give that information to our transformational coach that works for the State Department, but what I can do is have her give that statement to us in writing so that we can read it to you at the April 21st meeting. And I completely understand, because that decision to call school off was made late because all of the surrounding districts had made the decision. I was of the notion not to call that day off, but after Beaufort called it off, Charleston was already off, and there were some other districts surrounding us. And then we have to think about the fact that if something happens and, we didn't make that decision, then, we would be held liable for, any of our students or staff being injured. So that was why the decision was made, and it was made late to call that day off. I want to make sure that we're in compliance with state law, but I will definitely ask Dr. Jenkins if you would speak with our transformational coach and get something in writing that kind of talks about the concerns that Ms. Whitkin just brought up, to see if the State Department would be forgiving on our behalf. And we'll bring that information back at next Tuesday's meeting.
And just to be clear, where the line is on what can local authority forgive and what state law requires when it is past an inclement weather day, and because of the timing that it is. I feel that's the exception that I'm asking to be considered.
Right. And I know that, state law states that school districts must use their makeup days that are built into the calendar before making a request to the board to forgive additional days missed. And I completely understand. It was past those 3 days, but we will get more information from Ms. Smalls in order to present to you at next week's board meeting. Okay. And then the last update that I have is that the high school graduation will occur on Friday, May 22nd, as Ms. Bodison is coming up. It will occur on Friday, May 22nd at 7:00 p.m., and it will be held at the Colleton County High School Stadium. The contingency plan is that it will be held that same day, but inside the gymnasium, and there will also be an overflow location as well. And as Ms. Bodison is coming up, and Mr. Kubik, if there are any questions that you have about high school graduation, she will be happy to answer them for you. Ms. Bodison and Mr. Kubik.
Good evening.
Good evening.
As long as we're not in school all day on the 22nd, we're good, right? Okay.
You need that time, don't you?
Do you have the slides ready, Ms. Hyman? It's not up. Well, tonight we're back before you to present our CIP plan. We brought it before you before you took it to read over it, to approve it, before it was submitted to the state. Tonight we're going to just remind you what they were and then give you any updates that we've made since we've installed them. All right, as you can see, as a result of our school rating, which was below average, we had to submit a continuous improvement or turnaround plan. And in that continuous improvement plan, there were 3 requirements. They gave you 3 goals that you had to write up. One of them had to be a resource and an equity goal. One had to be an ELA goal, and the third had to be a math goal. Our resource and equity goal was by the end of the 26-27 school year, the 4-year on-time graduation rate at Colleton County High School will increase from 76.8% to 83%, reducing the gap between CCHS and the South Carolina state average of 86.7 by at least half. Some of the things that we're doing in order to reach that goal, we've expanded targeted tutoring, and we have credit recovery, as well as we provide additional support in subjects where students need more support that they have not done well or drop out. We also have early warning systems for chronic absenteeism so that we can have students in school and not dropping out of school, being able to better monitor that so we can have students in school and not dropping out of school to help increase our graduation rate. Also, we have some mentor-based and student engagement programs. We have our population MLL, where they can stay after to receive extra help after school, as well as Twilight. We also have school counselor who focus on college and career readiness, social and emotional learning, as well as their post-secondary pathways. And then we also partner with community organizations for internships and real-world preparation. This is something that we added this year. We didn't have the internships before now, but we've tried it for this semester. We've had 2 students who are able to actually join an internship with some welders for this semester. So this was something that we did for the first time this particular year. Now, if we're going to give some progress as to where we are, entering in fall of semester 1 in August, our graduation rate was 77%. I'm going to go back to that previous slide, Mr. Kubik. If you were to look at the goal, you will see that we were currently at 76.8, which put us at being at risk, well, being below average. Right now, where we stand, we're already exceeded our 76.8, and we're at 77%. That's when the students came in. Now, entering into the spring semester, when they came back in January, because of course we have semester courses, so the students were able to obtain some credits if they were off grade level. So in January, when the students returned and we looked at their data again, we were actually at 79.5, which is higher than we were when we were last year at 76.8. Also higher than we were my first year here when we had 78 point, let me look at my numbers for you. I don't think I have that one on the slide. Currently, we're at 79.5%, and this is the highest the graduation rate has actually been in 7 years, because I went back and I looked at it. The first year when I came in, we went to 78.2, which brought it up because the previous year was at 75.9. Last year, we did dip, and it went to 76.8, but again, it was still higher than it was when I came in at 75.9. In 2019, it was at 78.4. 2020, we had that COVID year. 2021, it went to 75%. 2022, it was 72.8%. 2023, it was at 75.9%. In 2024, year 1, for me, it went to 78.2. 2025, it did dip to 76.8, but again, still higher than it was when I came in. And this year, right now, as I said, when we went into January, it's at 79.5, and of course, students still need to complete courses, so that is a celebration, even though we have not met our goal yet, but we're on our way. All right, that's for that one. We can go to our next goal. The next goal that was required was the ELA goal. And for that goal, we stated by the end of the 26-27 school year, the percentage of students scoring C or higher will increase from 45.9% to 57.2%, reducing the gap between CCHS and the South Carolina state average of 68.5 by at least half. Some of the things that we have in place to help our students to achieve that goal: the students are taking benchmarks, where we're utilizing the data from Mastery Connect for the benchmarks, and they take 2 per semester. We had our first one in February, and they just took the second one before we left for spring break, March the 30th and the 31st. We're also developing and monitor individual growth goals based on how the students achieved or performed on the benchmark. We have expanded targeted tutoring and credit recovery for students at risk of failing a course, create and implement standardized test prep assessments and remediation strategies for English students in English 1 to strengthen deficiencies prior to entering English 2. My apologies, my mouth is very dry. For English 1, what we're doing this year, we put some things in place that we didn't do before. No. Oh, you went to English. Because the students take the EOC in English 2, what we were trying to do is, because we have some benchmark data that the students are able to use to show what they need to perform by the time they get to English 2, what we're doing is introducing that work in English 1 so that the students are able to see it. Last year, we only had our students who were taking the benchmarks only students who were taking the EOCs to perform benchmarks. Now we have all students taking benchmarks, especially the students who are doing the feeder courses going into the benchmark. So when you're taking English 1, you're able to see some of the work that you would see in the English 2. So that's one of the things that we implemented for our ELA. the progress that we've made so far, well, I'm going to the math goal. Our math goal that we have up here is, it's up there, but I don't have my glasses, so I can't see it. By the end of the 26-27 school year, the percentage of students scoring C or higher will increase from 27.2 to 39.4, reducing the gap between CCHS and the South Carolina state average of 51.6 by at least half. And once again, we're pretty much doing the exact same thing that we do for ELA to mirror in math. The one exception that we have here is we have a course, Math Ready, a curriculum that's been designed to help students prior to going into the geometry classes so that some of these students can get some skills. But it's not offered to everyone. Pretty much the students who aren't performing at a score or a level that we don't feel like they'll be efficient by the time they take the geometry class. So it's pretty much a prep class for that students. And just like we have for English 1, for the students taking geometry, this is also like a prep before they take the Algebra 1. Because it used to be they take Algebra 1 and then they take geometry. Now they're taking geometry first and then Algebra 1. But for the students who need some additional support, they take the Math Ready, then they take geometry, then they take algebra. So with these steps in place, we're hoping that we can help to increase our scores. Now, the updates that we have for the two, the only thing we would be able to share with you for this would be our EOC scores from the fall, because the benchmark data that we have that we gave in the 30th and the 31st, of course, those scores came back while we were on spring break. So when we have PLCs on Thursday, we will be able to look at those to see how the students were doing. But if we were to look at our EOC data from the fall, and again, you all, my apologies. I've had some sinus and some allergies issues, and I'm all dried up now because the medicine is working. All right, our EOC data. For English 2, if you go back to the goal, Mr. Cubic. All right, for our math goal, we stated that we will move from a 27.2% to 38.4% or 39.4%. And the state average, of course, is 51.6%. But we actually have a celebration in this area because currently, well, for our benchmark, for our EOC, our data from the fall, Algebra 1 students scoring a C or higher was at 65%. At 65%, we surpassed the goal of the 39.4 that we wanted to achieve, but we also surpassed the state average of 51.6. Now, of course, that's just for the first semester. We still have second semester. Now, we don't have a whole lot of students taking algebra, but we do have a few because, remember, all the students pretty much moved into geometry for this year. So we don't have a lot of students that are testing. But if the students don't score too horribly, hopefully it won't decrease it so much. So we're looking forward to that one pretty much being good by the time the school year ends. And back to our English, we're pretty much making progress there. The goal there was moving from a 45.9 to 57.2. Our student scoring a C or higher was 47% on our fall EOC. So it is between the 45.9 and the 57.2. So of course we won't know what the official number would be until after the spring as well. Go to the next one. All right, the information that I share with you tonight basically comes from two of the indicators from the school report card. You see that we have a total of 7 indicators, but the 2 that are highlighted are in green. The academic achievement, that includes our ELA as well as our math, which of course would be our English 2 and our Algebra 1, which is 25% of our points on our school report card. And the last one that we addressed tonight was graduation rate, which is 19 points out of our school report card.
Board members, any questions? I'd like to give a shout out to our students and staff for the Saturday before spring break. If you were able to be there, it was really a crowd for our TCTC plant sale that now has expanded to carpentry, had some furniture, and our welding students had some plant stands and things. And culinary was there with all the good food. It was amazing. There were more people there than I think at Walmart that morning. It was a crowd. So hats off to your students and staff for the Saturday. They were there from probably 9 to 2, entertaining the community.
The indicators that are on here, of course, only the ones that are in green are a part of our school improvement plan. However, continuous improvement plan, all of the ones that are on there, of course, we're not required to give an update for those tonight, but I can share with you for our school climate, of course, that's one that we're working on, where everyone is working hard to make sure that we get the surveys completed, because the 17th, which is Friday, we'll finish it. When I checked last, I think the high school was leading with the numbers that we had completed with the parents. We have our students, we don't have 90% completed yet. Our freshmen were leading in completion. And then our juniors were right behind them. So we're working steadily to make sure we have that to happen so that we can get at least 95% of our students to complete it, if not 100%. For our multilingual learners, of course, they took the access test in February. We're looking to receive those scores back maybe about May 15th or so, I think. Our high school student success indicator, well, we work on that on a regular basis, trying to make sure that our students are on track for graduation, because, of course, that grad rate is for that fourth group. And I'm really excited with the way these numbers are looking, especially for the group that will be coming up next year, because there would have been the 4 years that you can actually see the growth and to see them actually meeting all of these requirements. And then, of course, the last indicator up there is our college and career readiness, and that's where we, of course, partner with TCTC as well as with Salkehatchie for dual enrollment, and then our SAT, ACT, all of those things go toward getting our credits there. We'll be working toward having our completers, well, they're not having a picnic this year, but they'll be having their banquet where they'll be recognized, as well as our seniors for their banquet May the 8th, I think is when we'll be doing that. And then we'll be able to honor some of those students, so we'll know how those numbers look as well, as far as how many not only completed, but also have credentials for completion. And I think that will sum up all that we're able to share with you all tonight, because until the end, we won't really know what those numbers will truly look like. Do you all have any questions about anything that we presented?
Any questions, board members?
May I ask a question, Ms. Strobel? Just that the college and career readiness, do CATE completers, are they included within that number?
Yes. So for college and career readiness, so you have college. So for college, it's dual enrollment, SAT, ACT. And then you have our college career readiness, the WIN test that our juniors just took before we left for spring break. They have the completers. I'm sorry, I left out, I think I said dual enrollment. And then they have work-based learning that they're able to get all of under the career readiness side. So, and ASVAB.
Okay. And that's taking freshman year or sophomore year, ASVAB?
The ASVAB, well, you know, we were introducing it to them their sophomore year so that they can pretty much see the test and also kind of identify their strengths and their weaknesses. And we were able to see that those students who were exposed to that test, when they took it again their senior year, when they wanted to enter the military, their scores were really well because they'd already seen the test before in their practice. Because the one thing about high school is the students get away from testing because, of course, you know, up through 8th grade, they see standardized testing, but once they get to high school, it's only the EOC course, and it's whenever you take those courses, which you finish up your third one, your junior year, and you pretty much take your biology, your English, and your math all in 1 year if you take them all in 10th grade. So by the time you take like the ASVAB or the SAT or the ACT, a lot of times you don't see that stuff to really practice at all. So what we've been really working on is ensuring that those kids at least take one of those tests, because once it became optional, you didn't have students testing anymore. So they don't see it, so they don't perform well, and they don't get a lot of incentives scholarships because they don't see the test. So we're hoping, making that a part of the requirement that they have to take at least one, that they're able to better prepare and better to test better when it's time to be exposed to a test. Because unfortunately, they've pretty much been getting away from it, but we're trying to pull them back in to taking these tests.
Thank you, Ms. Bonison. It's refreshing to hear the strategy behind how you're getting the students where they need to get to go. Thank you.
Yes. Any other questions, board members, comments? Thank you, Ms. Bodison and Mr. Kubik. Ms. Williams, anything else from your report or moving
Yes,
to district strategic plan?
I would like to first also thank Ms. Bodison for her presentation and the update to their continuous improvement plan as well. The next on the agenda says the district strategic plan update. I think I let you know previously that because our district will have new leadership starting next year, the State Department has granted us an extension, so we do not have to submit a new strategic plan until the end of next year. So basically what is occurring now is the data is being updated. So I know Ms. Bozeman has been working on that, but the board does not have to take any action on the plan this year. So I wanted to say that. And also, from my understanding, there are no local board approved courses for your approval as well. So next on our agenda, we have the Human Resources Report. I'm going to ask Ms. Hamilton if she would come forward.
Good evening, board members. Good evening. Just want to remind you that certified contracts were issued on Friday, April 3rd. And our letters of agreements to our, what we call our non-certified staff and working retirees will be issued on May 1st. And our classified work agreements will be issued on May 11th. The HR team is steadily planning for our retirement banquet, which will be held on May 14th at 5 p.m. right here in this room. Your invitations will be shortly distributed to you guys. We're working on those. I know Ms. Middleton was looking at those things today. Also, we will be recognizing our Teacher of the Years and our Support Employee of the Years on May 19th. There will be a drop-in here, and then during the staff's recognition, we will recognize all of our Teacher of the Years and Support Employee of the Year. And then we are working to onboard all of our new hires that our principals and directors are sending to Human Resources. It is important to note that your vacancy sheet is not accurate because at the time of that report, we have gotten recommendations for hires. So there are updates to that, of which I will have for you next week. And also, I just thought it would be prudent for Human Resources just to remind internal stakeholders and the board and potential employees just of our hiring practices. I think it sometimes is misconstrued that Human Resources does the hiring. Just want to make sure that people understand that we are a processing office and that we do not decide who gets a position. And so we have hiring managers, and then it goes through a protocol. From there, once Human Resources receives those things, there are 17 steps that an applicant or candidate has to fulfill before he or she can step into the role. And so just wanted to put that before you, just so that y'all can help us with that narrative if you are approached. Also, just want to reiterate that on May 14th, we will have our retirement banquet right here in the boardroom, and then on May 19th, we will again recognize our Teacher of the Years and Support Employee of the Years. We are also planning our new employee orientation for the week of July 21st through the 24th. So HR is super busy right now, super busy time of the year. We will be busy up until around October the 1st. And so if you have any questions, I'm here to answer.
Board members, any questions?
All right, thank
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Hamilton. Next, we will ask Ms. Barrett to come with our finance report as well as a budget update for the 26-27 school year.
Good evening, board members.
Good evening.
Staff and members of the audience. First tonight, I would like to do the presentation of our first reading for the fiscal year 26-27. Okay. Well, our proposed budget is based on the current House and Ways and Means revenue allocation, and that allocation is how it's determined by the student average daily count. So our budget projection right now is based on our 45-day count. So this is the numbers that we're getting from the state. And we also have developed our local revenue projection using historical tax collection trend and the millage rate of 119.42. As you remembered, last year we went to the county and we asked for a millage increase, and they gave us 3 mills. So we are now at 119.42 mills, and we're using that millage rate to project our revenue for next year. This first reading give us a solid starting point, and we will continue refining the budget as more information becomes available. The key salary changes that's in this budget so far for this year, we gave a $2,000 increase to each of the teachers on the SAL scale. They got a step increase for the teachers. There's a step increase for eligible administrators and classified staff, and the 2% COLA for eligible administrators also on that. And overall expenditures net by $1.1 million. When we add our decreases and when we did our attrition, when we add our increases and we did our decreases, we have a net of $1.9 million decrease on salary expenditures from last year to this year. And we did that through attrition, and we moved 5 positions to other funding sources to help us to achieve this goal. As you look at our revenue for the budget, in 2027, the total revenue is projected at $57.18 million, compared to last year revenue was $58.1 million. So we had a decrease of $931,000 this year, a net decrease in our revenue than we had last year, when you're talking about the net decrease. You're looking at the key changes by source. You had local revenue, we are projecting an increase of $403,000, and that's driven by the growth in the property revenue taxes that we're going to receive. Within that, we see some increases in our about $302,000 increase from the Tier 3 residential funds revenue. And the Tier 3 revenue is the prime member when the school district used to be able to tax primary residence home. Well, we don't do that anymore, so now we get funding from the Tier 3 residential, and that's a 1% tax that does now the state give us money for those residential homes instead of being taxed by the school district, having them taxed like that. The funds come from that. So we had a $302,000 increase. However, those gains are offset in several areas. We had a $77,000 reduction in health insurance. Once before, health insurance used to just be a line that they would give us health insurance based on our teacher and that's what we would get. Now with health insurance, they are putting it through state aid to classroom. When you put it through state aid to classroom, we are looking at our average daily membership. And when you do that, that means we're going to lose more revenue as we lose students. So that's one thing that the state did this year. So when they did that, our health insurance decreased by $777,000. And we're looking at our State of the Classroom, which was the EIA fund and the general fund. And that combined fund had a decrease together of about $838,000. And we also had a decrease in our revenue insurance of $21,000. So when you net our growth that we receive in our revenue and our decreases, we have a total state decrease of $1.3 million. So we are starting out the year now with a decrease in revenue of $1.33 million. And we also got to remember that in January, when we did our 45-day count, we also had a decrease in revenue of $1.7 million. And when you look at our expenditures, we have our salaries and our fringe benefit, it went down. In 2026, we had $52 million in revenue, salaries and fringe. Now we only have $50 million. So that changed a negative $1.8 million. Purchase services, in 26, it was $1,330,000. We decreased that to $930,000. This was $400,000 in decrease, based about a 30% decrease. Far as our supplies and material, we increased that by $200,000, and that's due to staff recruit and retention effort that we're trying to do. In our other utilities and other district insurance, we haven't done any increases in that yet because we are still waiting on numbers coming for our insurance, and we're analyzing our utilities to make sure that, see if we need to do any decreases in that area. But right now, we haven't seen any decreases as of yet. So the fiscal year 26 approved budget was $60,288,000. This year, we're looking for the projected budget so far, based on the House and Means number of $58,254,000. We have decreased our budget expenditures by $2,033,000 as of this projected budget, which is a total of 3.37% decrease. So our projected deficit, remember we started out with $3.4 million. Then we went to $1.9 million. Then we went to $1.4 million. Now we're at $1,073,861 that we're looking at a deficit right now. So the district reduced the budget from the prior year primarily due to attrition, by reclassifying certain salaries from the general fund to the other funds. The district received the absent management system by reducing $400 by implementing cost savings measurement at each school. What we're looking at is giving each school a budget amount of money for the absentee, and they are required to stay within their budget for their absence employees. So we're looking at doing that. And by doing that, we was able to decrease the budget by $400,000. And we are actively reviewing other expenditures and additional potential reductions. The current budget is still an estimate, with more definitive numbers expected after we get the Senate release their budget version. So once we get the Senate version of the budget, we will do another version of the budget, which will be our second reading of the budget. So this is just the first, based on the House Ways and Means budget.
And I wanted to just reiterate what Mrs. Barrett stated concerning our absence management system, that budget being reduced by $400,000. Just wanted the board members to know that, you know, we've been doing a lot of work in trying to bring our budget down, and I think we've done a tremendous job going from a $3.4 million deficit down to a $1 million deficit, with having $1.3 million less in revenue than we've had before. And I just wanted to reiterate the fact that, we spent time talking about how we were going to do this absence management. We spent time with Superintendent-elect Aldridge in coming up with a plan, because I know that this will impact him as superintendent, and he was in agreement with the plan that we came up with. So I just wanted to let you all know that we are steadily working on decreasing our budget to make sure that we have a balanced budget, as close to a balanced budget as we possibly can, by the second reading and approval of the 26-27 budget.
Okay. And we know why the gap remains. We still got a gap with the $1 million. But we remember last year we started off with $2.1 million decrease in our revenue from last year. So we had to balance our budget with $2.1 million from our fund balance. This year, we're looking at $1 million, and we're hoping when we come back, doing our Senate version of the budget and doing our attrition that we're still doing every day and looking at various other ways we can save, we hope to have a balanced budget, close to a balanced budget, which would be phenomenal than what we did last year with a $2.1 million budget that we had came from the fund balance. Any question on that with the budget?
Thank you, Ms. Barrett. Board members, any questions before next week we'll vote on first reading?
Yes, that's correct. Okay, and the next is just our monthly revenue and expenditures report. And if you have any questions on that, I will be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions, board members? Thank you, Ms. Barrett.
Thank you.
Ms. Williams, anything else under your report?
No, that completes my report.
Okay. Board members, will move to item number 9, academics and student affair. Our core purpose is teaching and learning, and we welcome Dr. Khadijah Jenkins.
Vice Chair Strobel, school board members, Superintendent Williams, you have a copy of my report. However, I would like to begin my report by acknowledging Dr. Durden and his awesome team on hosting an outstanding Special Olympics the Friday before spring break.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you again, Dr. Durden, for an awesome job, you and your team. And before we hear from another outstanding director, district leader, Ms. Bozeman, she's giving federal programs updates this evening. I would like to just highlight the fact that our transformational coach, Ms. Monique Small, she's scheduled to come present to you on June 9th. She will share a thorough report of her experience here in Colleton, and also that report will include any recommendations moving forward, and she's looking forward to continue her work on the restructuring plan with our 6th graders transitioning back to elementary schools, as indicated in the report, and whatever works that we need in order to help our superintendent-elect make a smooth transition into our 2026-27 school year. That's all that I have to share at this time. And if you have any questions, I can entertain any questions now about my report, or I can wait until after Ms. Bozeman brings you updates from federal programs. Ms. Bozeman?
Thank you, Dr. Jenkins, for that shout out for Special Olympics. We're glad our community could be there to see our students and staff. It was wonderful to get that back in our county.
Ms. Strobel, if I may ask a question as Ms. Bozeman comes up, because I'm not sure if it's federal programs or academic affairs or Ms. Williams, but just want to make note of the fact in the CCHS Continuous Improvement Plan, the multi-learner progress for the state report card does indicate a score of 10 or up to 10. And so as we just had the first review of the, or we're just presented with the budget for the first time in reading next week, if we could identify how we are meeting that multi-learner progress goal and just verification that as a board, we are providing the high school with the necessary funding to adequately address those needs. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We will get that information to you.
Thank you, Dr. Jenkins. Good evening, Vice Chair Strobel, members of the board, Ms. Williams, Colleton staff, and community. I appreciate the opportunity to present updates from federal programs and assessment and accountability. There are a few slides included with topics already covered tonight, so I'll skip through those so everybody can go home. I just wanted to share with you information about our team. Robin Fitch helps manage Title I, Title II, and 21st century funding sources. Tangela Green, McKinney Vento, foster care, parent engagement, and as you heard tonight, helps manage all the SIC committees at each school. Tamika Washington helps manage the Title III, Title IV, Title V, and migrant funds. And Ms. Concepcion de Santiago is a multilingual instructional assistant funded through federal programs, and she works in all of the schools throughout the school district. So first, I'd like to share the allowed expenses for each of the federal funds, followed by how these funds are used in Colleton County. The Title I funds are allocated to districts with students who are academically at risk, especially those from low-income families. Schools qualify based on having a high percentage of low-income students, which is often measured by a free and reduced lunch. And once the school qualifies, any student who is struggling academically can receive help, not just the low-income students. So all of the students at those Title I schools receive the benefit of those Title I funds. Currently, Colleton County School District utilizes Title I funds to pay teacher salaries to reduce class sizes. Instructional coaches are funded with Title I funds, math and reading interventionists, parent engagement, instructional supplies, and summer learning programs. Title II funds are used for teacher recruitment, retention, and improvement. And we use Title II funds for signing bonuses, teacher recruitment events and fairs, teacher induction programs, mentor stipends, and professional development for improvement of instruction. Title III funds primarily support supplemental language instruction for multilingual learners aimed at boosting English proficiency and academic performance. And currently, Colleton County School District utilizes Title III funds for after-school tutoring for ML students, instructional supplies for ML students, professional development for ML teachers, and parent engagement for ML parents. Title IV funds are intended to improve student academic achievement through activities to support well-rounded educational opportunities, activities to support safe and healthy students, and activities to support the effective use of technology. Currently, Colleton County uses Title IV funds for after-school tutoring in elementary schools, after-school transportation for multilingual learners and McKinney Vento students, instructional supplies and hygiene items for homeless or at-risk students, nurses for after-school and summer learning, background checks for parent volunteers, professional development related to the district's strategic plan and goals. Title V funds are designated for rural and or low-income schools and can be used for anything that a Title I, II, III, or IV fund would pay for. So if there was an initiative that you wanted to use Title II funds for and you didn't have enough to do all the things that Title II covers, you can use Title V for any of those above initiatives. And we currently use Title V for teachers to reduce class size, instructional materials, professional development, summer school supplies, and after-school transportation. It was shared earlier tonight about our all clear rating on our monitoring update, and I would like to thank all of the ladies in the Office of Federal Programs, as well as I would say every employee in the district office, because as I shared with Ms. Williams, even though this audit goes through the Office of Federal Programs, this is not an audit of federal programs. This is an audit of whether or not the district is compliant with state and federal regulations and whether or not we are worthy to receive state and federal funds. So it took the whole village. I had to get information from Ms. Barrett, from Ms. Hamilton, from Ms. Hedden, from Dr. Durden. It really was like an Easter egg hunt, you know, pulling evidence for this audit. And we pulled anywhere from 300 to 400 items and uploaded based on the rubrics provided by the State Department. So it was definitely an all-in effort, and I appreciate everybody's help. They mentioned that the middle school received the SIC award, as well as Tangela Green for having 100% district-wide compliance with SIC. Quick update on what's going on with assessments. The iReady spring diagnostic window closed right before spring break, so the iReady spring diagnostic updates are coming soon. The SC Alt testing continues through this Friday. SE Ready testing begins on April 28th. Colleton County High School will have their English 2 writing exam on May 5th, and then all other EOCs and final exams will start the week of the 12th. Anybody have any questions?
Board members, any questions for federal programs and assessment and data?
Just a question about finance, in that, is there any anticipated cuts to any of the funds that you are expecting in the next budget year?
I'm glad you asked, because I would go to meetings and meetings and meetings, and they would share with us all of the things that all of the people the White House wanted to do, and we did get notification that all of the things that were on the docket that, I'm not trying to make this political, but Trump had specific funds that he wanted to cut 2 and 3 and 4, and we got an all clear that that was voted against. All of them were voted against, and we have no anticipations of cuts for the coming school year for federal
programs. Thank you. Good to know.
Thank you, Ms. Bozeman. Board members, we'll move on our agenda. We're now finishing up anything that we need under Dr. Jenkins' report. Anything else? Okay, thank you. We look forward to hearing more next week if you have any other updates, and we're excited about the work getting ready for testing right around the corner. Superintendent Williams, we're at item number 10, operational management. A safe, secure, and positive environment will be conducive for teaching and learning. That's our core value, and we welcome your report.
Thank you, Vice Chair Strobel. I've asked Mr. Simpson to come up and just give you an update on the middle school that was having issues with the HVAC system. You have the reports from all of the operations directors, and if you have any questions after Mr. Simpson is finished with his update, please feel free to ask.
Good evening, board members. Thank you, Ms. Williams. Just a status update on the middle school HVAC. As you are aware, we've been on e-learning today, and more than likely probably for tomorrow as well, in discussions with Ms. Williams, just based on our current situation. So what has transpired is that we discovered some HVAC leaks. As we all know, the building is very, very old. We have a lot of old units in there, and with it being water source, anytime something springs a leak, it does cause an issue. Now, the fortunate piece is, luckily, we checked the building on Sunday and discovered it, so we were able to mediate it a little bit quicker, but with that, we discovered some more leaks. 4 in total. We have corrected all of those, and we are currently in the process of refilling the system back with water and getting the pumps operational. We are having some issue with the pumps starting back up because of the amount of water loss that happened in the system, because you can imagine that building, as large as it is, except for the 6th grade wing, does require a lot of water in it. So we are working through that process right now. We do have members of our building and ground staff on site right now with a HVAC vendor that we use to hopefully get this corrected. That way we can get back into school come Thursday. Any other questions in regards to the middle school HVAC?
Board members, any questions? Thank you, Ms. Williams, Mr. Simpson, for the work you're doing to get our kids back into a safe location, and staff.
Thank you.
So that's an announcement, Ms. Williams, for e-learning tomorrow?
Yes. Learning will be, we will be on an e-learning day for Colleton County Middle School tomorrow. Mr. Peoples is working on a contingency plan just in case we're not able to go into the building on Thursday and Friday because we can't stay on e-learning. So he's working on a plan where we will have to relocate classrooms, utilizing space in our 6th grade building, and possibly, if we need to, we will be collaborating with Ms. Bodison with the high school as well. So just wanted to let you know that those plans are in motion. So if we have to go to an alternate plan for Thursday, but hopefully everything will be cleared up by tomorrow afternoon.
And when would parents expect a notice about a change?
We're sending that out right now.
Mr. Strobel, if I may ask a question with regards to academics, is there, if you could update the board next Tuesday on any additional tutoring or offerings to our students, if in the absence of live instruction, they need something, I would hope that we would be able to offer something to best prepare our students as it is test-taking time. So I know there are lots of balls up in the air operationally, but how are we addressing the academic needs too? If you can update us on that next Tuesday.
We will.
Any other questions, board members? Thank you. Anything else from the operational report, Ms. Williams?
That concludes the operational report, unless you have any questions for any of our operations directors. Oh, yeah, capital projects. Mr. Simpson needs to give an update on that.
As you may recall, we had a capital projects meeting. I believe it was back in March, right before I went out. But at the next board meeting, the administration will be bringing forward 2 proposals that will be for the indoor sports facility at the baseball and softball field, and also the restroom project there as well. That was the design only. And then also the reallocations of past bond funds. So those are the last 2 remaining items of the items that were presented at the previous capital projects meetings that will be brought forth for action by the board on. So just to give you a heads up that will be on the agenda for next week.
Mr. Strobel, if I may ask Ms. Williams, when will we have a capital project board session for next year's capital projects, a work session?
Yes, ma'am. We do not have that scheduled as of yet, but we will let you know either in the board brief on Friday or at our April 21st meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else, board members? Hearing no questions, thank you, Mr. Simpson. Thank you, Mr. Simpson and Ms. Williams, for that report. Anything else that needs to be brought before the board from you, Superintendent Williams, or board members? Hearing nothing, I'll receive a motion that we adjourn.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. See you next Tuesday, 6 p.m.